am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? How will I get by? Some fundamental questions that have intrigued the thinkers' minds for centuries and that have no ready Google answers. I'm Ronkini Gupta and I'm here to share a slice of my life that has helped me arrive at a certain flow. But having said that, I was fortunate enough to be put into various extracurricular activities to hone an artistic side to myself. And therefore, music came rather young into my life. First, as a hobby, with my first guru, who single-handedly crafted it and molded it into something more concrete, which I can call a skill. And that brings me to the first principle that I'm about to discuss with you here today. The principle of doing. Doing doesn't just mean completion of a task. If the elements of discipline and dedication are added to it, then doing can do magic. And therefore, doing becomes a primary exercise towards figuring out who I am, because we usually connect what we are by what we do. So today here I am pursuing Indian classical music, and that means that I identify myself as a musician first, and therefore the tools for me are rhythm and melody, which means Tal and Sur and Tal. And I have here with me Ashish Ragwani on the Tabla, who is here to help me demonstrate the pieces that I'm talking about. So let us, without much ado, get into the first piece of doing, which challenges our technical and intellectual capacities. First and foremost, there are 7 notes, and we take in, when we're introduced into music, the first thing that we talk about is Rag Yaman, which is a major scale raga. And the notes are Ni re ga ma da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. These are the notes. But when I just sing it as a scale, Ni re ga ma da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa, we just look at it as an ascent and a descent. But what if I tell you that the scope of this scale is infinite? And how do I get into this infinity space? Let me first tell you that Ni re ga ma da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa 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 is an octave. And if I treat this octave as a cycle, then I'm actually getting into circular motion. And a circular motion is nothing but an indefinite movement. When I say indefinite, it actually means that there is no beginning or end. For all other shapes, there is a beginning and there is an ending. But for a circle, there is no beginning or an end. We decide what the beginning and the end should be. So, what are the possibilities here? Ni re ga ma da ni sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Sa ni da pa ma da ni re ga ma da ni re ga sa ni da pa ma ga re sa ni da pa ma da ni re ga ma da ni re ga sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. This is a cyclical movement when I'm starting from the sa, going downwards, going right up to my ga on top in the higher octave and coming back to the sa. It's a pattern where I'm taking 3 notes together. The next could be a 4-note pattern. Ni re ga ma da ga ma da ni re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Ni re ga ma da ni ga ma da ni re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. That's a 5-note pattern. Ni re ga ma da ni re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. A 6-note pattern. And so on and so forth. If I keep on increasing the layers, what if I do all of them together? Ni re ga ma pa, ni re ga ma da ni. 3, 4, 5 and 6. And in this manner, I can keep increasing my scope, because there is a lot of scope. It is infinite, like I said. Ni re ga ma da ga ma da ni re sa. Ni re ga ma pa da ni ga ma da ni re sa. Ni re ga ma da ni re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Ni re ga ma pa re ga ma da ni. Ga ma da ni sa ga ma da ni re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. I can combine, I can choose to take whatever numbers or whatever degrees I want and keep challenging my ability to explore, because we start understanding how the vocal muscle can manifest in so many ways. This is just one aspect of it, where I am exploring cycles or patterns. The other aspect could be just taking very long leaps. Sa sa ni da ma ga re sa ni da ma ga re sa ni da da ma ga re sa ni da pa pa. So very long leaps, very long jumps, octave coverage. Sa sa ni da ma da ni re ga ma da ni re re ga re sa ni da ma ga 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 re sa ni da ma 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 ga re sa ni da ma ga re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa ni da ma ga re sa. So that's the doing part. I was also pursuing a degree in Math Stats Economics in my degree college, and the correlation that math and stats had with music was very, very fascinating. It was immensely fascinating. I started understanding how much of math was involved in music, not only from the point of view of rhythm, but also that every melody is actually a combination of notes, which means that it is a combination of notes put together in a pattern, and that provides it a certain kind of design. So combination, pattern, design, rhythm, all these things put together makes music. And when I started developing the skill to understand these, I also started developing the skill to create, because now it was like tools with me which I could hold in my hands and just decode and put it in the manner and pattern that I want to. Because this is principle number 2 for us, which means exploring or creating. We were doing something. From the doing part, we have come to the creating part. Because now I don't want to do something that has been rehearsed and tried and tested. From the rehearsed piece, are we able to cull out pieces which are our own? And why do we want to do this? Because we want to figure out who we are. Going back to our fundamental question, who am I? So let us get into a demonstrative space where I can demonstrate to you exploration, creation, and something that is challenging, thriving, throbbing, that creates a rush, right? And that's what experiments are for. A very interesting piece was taught to me, which is called the Virukhand, which is permutation and combination. A very, very mathematical tool. We all know about it. Let's take 3 notes, Sa, Re and Ni, and do a 4 pattern combination. Sa, Sa, Re, Sa, Ni, Re, Sa, Ni, Sa, Re, Sa, Ni, Sa, Sa, Re, Ni, Sa, Ni, Sa, Re, Sa, Re, Ni, Re, Sa, Sa, Ni, Sa, Re, Ni, Sa, Re, Sa. Sa, Ni and Re are the 3 notes that I have taken. I have taken a pattern of 4, and now I am just mixing and matching them. Sa, Re, Sa, Ni is actually 1, 2, 1, 0. If 0 is Ni, Sa is 1 and 2 is Re. And Re, Sa, Ni, Sa is 2, 1, 0, 1, and so on and so forth. We can do it as a mathematical piece or as a musical piece, as I'm going to demonstrate right now. Sa, Re, Sa, Ni, Re, Sa, Ni, Sa, Re, Sa, Ni, Sa, Sa, Re, Ni, Sa, Ni, Sa, Re, Sa, Re, Ni, Re, Sa, Sa, Ni, Sa, Re, Ni, Sa, Re, Sa. Re, Ga, Re, Sa, Ga, Re, Sa, Re, Ga, Re, Sa, Re, Ga, Sa, Re, Sa, Re, Ga, Re, Ga, Sa, Ga, Re, Re, Sa, Re, Ga, Sa, Re, Ga, Re. Ga, Ma, Ga, Re, Ma, Ga, Re, Ga, Ma, Ga, Re, Ga, Ga, Ma, Re, Ga, Re, Ga, Ma, Ga, Ma, Re, Ma, Ga, Ga, Re, Ga, Ma, Re, Ga, Ma, Ga. Ma, Ba, Ma, Ga, Ba, Ma, Ga, Ma, Ba, Ma, Ga, Ma, Ma, Ba, Ga, Ma, Ga, Ma, Ba, Ma, Ba, Ga, Ma, Ma, Ga, Ma, Ba, Ga, Ma, Ba, Ma, Ba, Ra, Ma, Ba, Ra, Ma, Ba, Ra, Ma, Ba, Ma, Ba, Ra, Ma, Ba, Ma, Ba, Ra, Ma, Ra, Ma, Ra, Ma, Ba, Ma, Ba, Ra, Ma, Ba, Ra, Ma. Da, ni, da, ba, ni, da, ba, da, ni, da, ba, da, da, ni, ba, da, ba, da, ni, da, ni, ba, ni, da, da, ba, da, ni, ba, da, ni, da, ni, sa, ni, da, sa, ni, da, ni, sa, ni, da, ni, ni, sa, da, ni, da, ni, sa, ni, sa, da, sa, ni, ni, da, ni, sa, da, ni, sa, ni. Sa, re, sa, ni, ni, sa, ni, sa, ni, sa, ni, sa, sa, ni, ni, sa, ni, sa, ni, sa, ni, ni, sa, sa, ni, sa, ni, ni, sa, ni, sa, ni, da, ba, ma, ga, re, sa. This is a set pattern. Obviously, the initial stages were that of doing, which means memorizing it and rehearsing it and then producing it. But later on, in the exploratory stage, it becomes completely different. We already saw a beautiful Virukhand pattern. Now let us explore something along with Ashish on the tabla. I'm going to be singing some random patterns and he shall be correlating and reproducing the same effect on the tabla, and then we will come together. Let's see how that pans out. 1, 2, 3. Gare gama bama gare gada bama gare sa. Gama dhani sa ni da bama ni da bama gare. Dhani re gare sa dha gare sa ni da bama ga. Ni re gama bama gare ga gare sa ni re sa. Ni re gama bama gare. Ni re gama dhani da bama. Gama dhani sa ni da ba. Ma dhani de gare sa ni. Ni re gama da. Gama dhani. Ma dhani sa. Gare maga dhama ni da. Gare maga dhama ni da sa ni re sa da ni sa ni re ga ma ga re sa ni re sa ni ma da sa ni da ba ma ni da ba ma ga re sa. Ma ga re sa. Ma ga re sa. Ma ga re ba ma ga re sa. Ma ga re sa. Ma ga re ba ma ga re sa. Ma ga re ba ma ga re sa. So in this manner we can think on the fly, on the spot, and make impromptu pieces along with the tabla, which has a decent amount of laikari also in it, which has an exploratory feel to it, which has thought, which has creativity. So these are the two things that primarily led me to discovering who am I, which is I am primarily a musician. And how am I going to take this forward, which means what is the process that I am following, which means how am I experimenting, how am I creating, how am I discovering. And finally, we come to the third principle, which is flowing. Of course, the research and the science is in the doing. But while we are doing these rigorous activities, we need to unfold a natural state, a state of fluidity. Further still, it should start becoming like a song, something so organic that has the ability to evoke an emotion. Let us, through a bandish, express ourselves and demonstrate how life can become music. I'm going to take up rag Madhuvanti, and the beat cycle is going to be Ek Tal. Ashish is going to accompany me on that. And let us see how we can do something beautiful, artistic, express ourselves in Rag Madhuvanti. I'll give you a brief understanding of the raga. It's a Shringar Ras Rag, which means it's a romanticized space. And the bandish is talking about the lover, talking about the beloved. So let's explore this piece. The flow of notes and the flow of this bandish, the primary aim is to be able to express an emotion, to be able to evoke an emotion. मन को भाए तन को अपने प्रीत से रंगाए मन मीत पदम पदम मन मीत पानी जरी जरी नभ मन मीत निजा गम 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 मन मन मीत पानी जरी जरी निजा मन मीत पसा सनी पानी निजा पदम पदम Finally, this piece was about figuring out a beginning, a middle, and an end so that we can express our story beautifully. If we are lucky, or rather, if we devote time to discovering what we love doing or what we love being, then we will do what we love. And if we wholeheartedly persevere and pursue and are able to achieve a certain degree of effortless and ease in that discovery, then we shall be what we love. Thank you so much.